do you think when we come out of camp, do you think we will know how they're going to use all those backs? Like, do you think we're going to have a clear picture of that? Or is it going to be game by game? Or they've got 7 running backs.
It's cool to have options.
Yeah, man, I was thinking about that. I was talking with Aslan about it on the growingly popular. Growingly is a word, right?
I like growingly.
Or groaningly.
Popular Wake Up Warchant. I think I go into late July, August, the season. Roydell and Toafili are going to split a lot of carries, but Jaylen Lucas is going to play a ton.
Sure.
And so when you mention somebody like Cam Davis, who I think has a world of potential, it's like, well, how's he getting on the field? He's not. Toafili's going to play a ton, and Roydell, I think, is going to play. I mean, Roydell's a grown man. Cam looks like a grown man. Physically I've never seen anything quite like that. But I don't know that he's getting a lot of carries away from those 2 veterans. And then Jaylen Lucas does stuff that nobody else does.
So Lucas is a very unique player, and I almost don't put him in the same category. He's in a different category altogether. I think he's kind of just a not gimmicky player, but he's the kind of guy that you're trying to get out in space. It's not your standard running back position stuff with him. And I think the better question, perhaps, Corey, don't take offense to this, is how does Cam Davis going to get on the field over, say, Keziah Holmes? Because, to me, Toafili's a different running back than Cam Davis, obviously. And you just got done correctly, I think, pointing out that Roydell Williams will be the man. So now we
who's that third guy?
Who's a third guy that you would put in there that's a true running back? And Keziah Holmes is a redshirt senior. So how are you going to get, how are you going to make him out? They're also similar body types in that. I mean, obviously Cam's bigger, but Keziah's not small.
He's a power back.
Yeah, he's power back. Yeah, I think Davis and some of these guys are second half running backs when we have big leads and we've worn on people in the run game. Yeah. And now you're just powering, running downhill. It'd be fun that's going to be fun. There are going to be some teams that are outmatched and they get down a couple of scores and you just want to play some old school smash mouth, get you some. Well, here's 225 pounds. Well, and by the way, we got a lot of running backs. So
I was going to say, if
it's going to be fun.
Because Holmes is a physical dude, Roydell Williams is a physical dude, and then your quarterback is maybe the biggest of all of them. He's 250 pounds.
Well, and you can run the quarterback, and I think he will in short yard situations and have those options where you roll him out, and if you decide not to come up to make a play, let that big man get moving a little bit. That's 2-3 yards. I mean, good luck stopping him short of the line if you're only trying to get 2. Or 3.
I compared, though, their running back trio. I think it's going to be a trio. Those other guys might play late in games you're winning comfortably or just sprinkle them in throughout the game. But you remember 21 when it was Corbin? I'm sure you guys do. Can you hearken all the way back, Ira, to 2021?
I remember Ted DiBiase, Corey. I think I can remember 2021.
So it was Jashawn Corbin and Trayshawn Ward were your 2 main guys. Mm-hmm. But Toafili was sprinkled in there a good bit too, doing other things. I think that's the Lucas role. Lucas is like 2021 Toafili, but I think Toafili is more of a complete back now. It can be more of like a Trayshawn or Corbin or whatever you want. He's not as physical as Corbin, but I think those 2 guys are going to get 80% of the carries, Williams and Toafili, if they're healthy. Lucas gets 5%, but also gets catches out of the backfield. I just think it's going to be mainly a trio.
I think Cam Davis will get carries too. It might be 4 or 5 a game, but I think he'll get in I don't think he's going to be redshirted. I think he'll get action.
Yeah, and they'll all get opportunities in these games where they're heavy favorites and they get big leads. And to Corey's point, maybe in some of the more high-profile games that are going to be nip and tuck, we're not having 4 or 5 down in the depth chart running the football. But I think there are opportunities for all these guys. And, with running backs, they say it all the time. Sometimes it's cliche and it gets old, but somebody's got a hot hand. I mean, you have options. If somebody's feeling it and running well on a given day, you might do it. I like Singleton. I like all these guys. I like how many options they have. Certainly, you're in a position where you have the diversity of skill set, too. So
I also don't think you're married to people this year. Like last year, you were married. Mike Norvell, I felt like
it was going to be the right thing to do. Yeah.
Married to Trey Benson. He came back for that year. Even a couple games where he didn't get off to a great start, Trey Benson's your guy. At receiver, you're kind of married to Keon and Johnny. You're married to Jaheim Bell at tight end.
Yeah.
So this year, I think is going to be very different. Like if guys are not producing,
get them out.
They're going to be moving quickly.
Get your ass on that bench.
You have so many options. It really all of those positions. Now, again, receiver, I don't know that you don't have the top end options that you did last year. but there's nobody that's like iron, like we can't take them out of the lineup.
Right. You don't owe them above and beyond.
Right.
Sometimes you owe players above and beyond just what they've earned on the field in a given week or year. It happens all the time. By the way, it's funny. Yesterday, Corey, I thought of you because I know you feel this way too. And all of us at one point have commented on this. It doesn't do us any good to wallow in it, but it just hit me again how pissed I am that Destin Hill got hurt in spring. He was really, really, we'll never know, but I think he was about to have a big, big year. I think he was about to be, at the very least, he was going to take a huge step forward. And I think he would have changed the dynamic of that entire room because of that speed. And he's also not small. People think he's small. He's not small. He can really go, and he's thick. And I just thought, God dog it if that hadn't happened. Football's a game, war of attrition. We get it. Physical is all hell. It happens. Everybody loses somebody. I don't want to wallow in it. I hate it for the kid, and I really do think it affects the overall question marks surrounding the wide receivers, because I think Destin, we were just going to pencil in that slot and say, boom, stud.
Yeah. And look, you would have had you still got Ja'Kai. You've got other guys that can play the slot, but I think Destin was about to be I say he was destined to be an all-conference type player. And it was just a week and a half, right, before he got hurt, Ira? 2 weeks maybe?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, man, look at this. This is an old-school FSU-looking receiver from, like, the 90s. He would have fit into those teams. And he was making plays. He's just so quick coming in and out of cuts, or, was pre-injury, that you're like, okay, that can play, and that could be an 8-catch, 90-yard guy almost every game, I thought. And him along with Benson, okay, now you're working with two, I think, future NFL guys that maybe they're not Keon, but man, they are going to produce at a high level. And it kind of reminds me of like the baseball team when Leiter got hurt and Whitaker got hurt. It changes everybody's role now. People are sped up and have to get on the field that maybe wouldn't have gotten on the field if Destin absolutely wouldn't have gotten on the field or been asked to do as much if Destin was still available.
Well, that's the whole thing. It would have allowed Hakeem to, kind of come along in his own pace. Would have allowed any of these guys. Now all of them, like Jaylen Brown's got to come along faster now. Everybody's got to let's go. Everybody's got to get sped up.
What I do think, though, the more I think about it, and this could be just the normal progression of the offseason. Like at the end of the spring, you think about all the things that you don't have with a team. And as the summer goes on, you start kind of talking yourself into things a little bit. And as I've gone through that process, and I think this is true, but it might be some rationalization. We lamented the fact that you don't have those guys who can win the contested catches. You don't have the Keon. That was his specialty.
Yeah, big receiver goes up and gets it.
Johnny wasn't as consistent, but he also had that ability too because of the big frame.
Yeah.
You don't have those guys this year. But again, when you think about what this offense is going to look like, that may not be what they need anyway, because if they are going to be predominantly a running team, and that's going to be a focus of the offense, which I think it is going to be, and they feel really excited about the running game, the offensive line improvement, what DJ can do back there as well. Now the passing game is more of those deep shots, which is what DJ did last year at Oregon State, which fits him better. And now now you're not asking Jaylen Brown or Kentron Porti or any of these guys to make these like really difficult contested catches. You're asking them to just run fast.
Get your fast ass down the field.
We've got a quarterback who can sling it 60, 70 yards without hesitation. And now you're not – those catches, there's a higher degree there's a bigger margin for error on those passes, and the receivers have more of an opportunity to make a play on the ball. So I think that if that works out, if the running game is what they think it's going to be, and this isn't just us talking about it, if you talk to people around the team, Mike Norvell, the staff, they are very excited about this running game. If that comes to fruition, now you don't need receivers like Keon Coleman. You just need dudes who can run, and they've got guys that can run.